When you measure your cholesterol, ask your doctor when you go for your medical to check your triglycerides. If they are more than 150 and your high density lipoprotein less than 40. These are the signs which tell you most likely you have insulin resistance. Now, there are these skin tags which you should check. These are below your armpits or around your neck. For women, the interest to sex goes down. For men, you get erectile dysfunction. Sinanguvu, everybody talks about sinanguvu. You get a brain fog. Where is my keys? The keys are yours. Whom are you asking? Where is my phone? Poor sleep and fluctuation of energy. You have energy now, 2 hours later you are down. There might be some warning signs that you are insulin resistant. Now, why this phase is very important? Because you can reverse it. You don't need a single medication. And I'll tell you how you can do it. Now, because let's look on evolution. I would understand here is a genetic thing. But from here to where we are today, this is hormonal. It's a hormone change. And which hormone are we talking about? We are talking about insulin. Now let me give you a basic about insulin. Insulin comes from the pancreas. There are cells called cells of Langerhans. This is where insulin comes. Every time you touch food, especially sugar and carbohydrate. I have my Hindu friends here. You know, they come to my clinic at Doctor's Plaza there on Saturdays. Say, doctor, I'm a vegetarian. I say, yes, you're a vegetarian, but you are leading in Dar es Salaam on heart attacks. Do you know why? It's the laddu, it's the jalebi, it's the peramaziwa. So it doesn't matter whether you're vegetarian, provided you're eating the wrong food. Our Hindu community, I'm a very close friend to Bab's Charity. I was a personal friend to Mzee Subash. They are leading in diabetes, they are leading in obesity, they are leading in heart attack, and they are leading in economy. They have a lot of money. But they spend in the hospital. So this from here is really, so every time you touch food, the pancreas secretes insulin because it doesn't allow sugar, sugar in the blood. If it's high, you can pass. We get hyperglycemic coma, my colleagues know it. If it's low, you'll pass out. So it has to remove the sugar from the circulation to the cells. Now, if it does it frequently, over the years, it's not you do it on Monday, on Tuesday, no. Over the years, it becomes resistance. And I'll tell you what resistance means. Now, what does insulin resistance cause? It gives you, the mechanism, it gives you a fatty liver. My colleagues know, when we were in a medical school in the 90s, if somebody we do an ultrasound and get a fatty liver, the first question we used to ask, how much alcohol are you using? Because alcohol gives you fatty liver. Fatty liver will give you insulin resistance will give you diabetes. But now we don't ask that question because I have kids of 12 years, they've got fatty liver. So there's no difference of your kid. I don't want to mention the shop just across here. When we parents go and pack all the sugars from the nearby shop and others and give the kids, because now our kids are having diseases of the adults, of like somebody who is drinking alcohol. And that's why we have kids. We've got a full pediatric diabetes clinic in Mwimbili with 20 kids every clinic, every day. That's a lot. So it will give you chronic inflammation, it will give you high blood pressure, it will give you high blood sugar, your cholesterol will go up. Na wazee hapa, I don't have to look at you, it will give you a belly fat. Utapata kitambi. So do you have kitambi? Usinijibu. It will give you something called, it will lower your autophagy. Now what is autophagy? Autophagy, if I do an intermittent fasting, let's say now you have had your breakfast, don't touch food in between up to dinner. So what the body will do, it has to get energy from somewhere. So either it will go to the kitambi, it will go to the liver, it will go to the hips, it will go everywhere because the body has to get energy. It will create its own energy. And I don't want to use the medical term gluconeogenesis. It will make its own sugar inside. So while it's doing that, whether it finds bacteria, viruses, cancer cells, it will just clean it up. That's why intermittent fasting, you'll hear it in any religion, be it Islam, be it Hindus, the Jews, the Christianity, all the religions are talking about fasting. So religion came first and then the science came later. When you fast, this guy who found autophagy is a professor from Japan. He got a Nobel Prize in 2001, I think. Or 2016, I don't remember. He got a Nobel Prize for finding. And it's really a cleansing process. Now, because of that mechanism of insulin resistance, that's why you see there's an increase of heart diseases, there's an increase of stroke. Actually, at Muimbili now, we had to buy a new machine. It's about 2.6 billion. I hope one time you heard me. Now, if you get a stroke and reach at Muimbili within 5 hours, and if it's in clot which is blocked, we can take it out. We can take the clot out. So now stroke, not only we give tablets, but you can do an intervention and get it out. Actually, let me give you a bonus because it's something which happens in town. If you have a relative or friend who has got a stroke, please don't do massage. There's a difference between massage and physiotherapy. All of us here, or most of us here, have done massage. What happens to you when you do massage? You sleep, you relax. Now, you have got stroke, the right or left side is already relaxed. Why are you causing it more relaxed? In medicine, we call it you have got an hypotonic state. So don't relax it more. That's why our patients don't get recovery fast. This is physiotherapy. This is physiotherapy. But this is massage. So a stroke patient, we are supposed to do physiotherapy, not massage. So Santina, mafuta ya karafuu kuchua, will you stop it today? Good. So we see early dementia. I touched about it earlier. When you start to look for where is my phone, and you are the owner of the phone, it might be an early sign of dementia. People get dementia nowadays very early. Our time, most of us here, when our grandmothers, our fathers, when they are 80 and but nowadays, very early, 45, 50 years old, people start to get dementia. We have a lot of cases. It's a leading cause of blindness, amputation, and we see a lot of cancer cases nowadays. Now, let me put in perspective. These are real figures. There's a mic which is on it. Now, if you look today, these are really figures. Cancer, why insulin resistance or NCDs, non-communicable disease, they are more deadlier than cancer, because I know everyone fears to get cancer, but let me show you, it's the other way around actually. Cancer kills about 9.5 million people in the world, heart disease about 18 million, high blood pressure about 7 million, stroke about 5 million, and diabetes about 4.2 million. Now, if I just put a plus from here, if I remove cancer, if you plus these 4 diseases which are non-communicable, that 34.6 million people every year die of these 4 diseases. Now, if you try to put it in percentage-wise, this is 364 more times fatal than the cancer. And why am I putting all this together? Because all these diseases, the main theme is the insulin. If you have high blood pressure because of insulin resistance, if you have heart disease, it's insulin, stroke, and so forth. Oh, this is just a pictorial, it's the same slide. Now, the problem we have in medicine, and I think our message is, my colleagues are here, diabetes, either you have it or you don't have it, but that's not a very correct interpretation. Let's look what I'm trying to say. What we have done in the hospital, and I'm sure when you see your physician, we say you have optimal when your blood sugar is between, if we use HbA1c, which is a reflection of sugar for the past 3 months. Like this is July, so if you do this test, it gives me a reflection of June, May, and April. We say you are normal when you are between 4.8 to 5.1, or those in milligrams is between 91 to 100. It's fine, this is optimal. But there's a group which is very dangerous, which I believe more than half of you are in this group. It's called the sleeping group. Because when you go to your doctor, the blood sugar will be between 5.3 and 5.6, or 105 to 114. Now, but what does sleeping means? You see 5.6, they call you pre-diabetics when you are in 5.7. Now, what's the difference between these two? This slide, what tells you, if we don't take care of our health now, from today when you leave this place, you'll jump from this group, you'll go to pre-diabetes, which is between 5.7 and 6.4, and you'll stay in this group roughly about 5 years before you jump to full diabetes. Now let me show you the data in the world. How many of you most likely are in this group? And I can say more than 50, 100%. So today in the world, let's take the US first. Today in the US, 30 million people are in the sleeping group. In the world is 463. If you look on pre-diabetes, in the US today is 114 million people are in pre-diabetes. You know US, 60% of the people are overweight or obese. Now around the world, about 1 billion people. And how many people are in the sleeping stage? In the US, about 300 million. In the world is 2.2 billion. I'm sure most of us are warming up, getting ready, go to pre-diabetes, and one day, and I'm not trying to scare you. What I'm trying to say, please let's change our lives, style, because what's the point of working so hard, fighting with TRA? Okay, you don't fight with TRA. Saving all the money, and then the quality of life in future will not be very good. Now, let me show another real data. Let's look at the US from 1800 to 2018. So literally in 1800, 1900, there was no overweight, there was no diabetes. Now, what happened from the 60s? From the 60s, the weight started to go up exponentially, and the diabetes followed. So what does this slide tell you? The more weight you gain, and the more diabetes you should expect. Now, let's look comparison of the US and our continent. So this is diabetes, this is obesity, and this is overweight. See diabetes and overweight. The bad thing, we don't only copy good things from the US, we copy also the bad thing. Everyone, the fast food and everything, but the price is big. So I walked through this. Let me just very quickly. When you eat food, this is your pancreas. It goes to the digestive tract. It gets digested, breaks down, so the insulin comes in, takes the sugar from the blood to the cells. So this is where your pancreas is. But let me go further. So most of us usually blame fatty foods. Oh, fat food, chakula kina mafuta sana. But fat is the end result. Actually, the problem is not fat. The problem is sugar and carbohydrates. Because when you eat a sugar or starchy food, goes to the blood, insulin is secreted. Now, if you do it frequently, you get insulin resistance, which I spoke with. What happens when you get insulin resistance? Insulin is one of its main job is storage. We cannot store sugar in our body. We cannot store carbohydrates in our body. We have to convert it to fat. So something called lipogenesis goes up, that making new fat, and then the fat storing, there is a G missing here, goes up. The opposite, the breakdown of fats goes down and the metabolism goes down, and this is where the kitambi comes. Now, graphically, what happens? This is fatty food, this is protein, and this is carbohydrate. So when you eat a fatty food, a carbohydrate, your sugar level goes up and the insulin goes up. And then after 3 hours, it goes down. When you eat protein, the green one, the sugar doesn't go very high. You know why? Because protein does not need insulin for transportation. And when you eat a fatty food, it's even lower. So you should know fatty food is an end result. And this is just so what do we do? And I'm not sure if we're very smart. When the cell does not respond, so that the insulin takes sugar in the cell. So what do we do? When you come to see Dr. Marina Angelikela, you know what she's going to do? She'll give you a prescription. She'll give you a drug for sugar. Why is she doing that? To force the sugar in the blood to go inside the cell. Now, is that very smart or not very smart? Because if you know what causes your sugar to go up, why don't you stop that one rather than coming to me? I'll give you a tablet, I'll give you insulin. Now you are just forcing something which is very unnatural in the body. And I think you don't understand what is insulin resistance. I'll tell you. I will simplify it. This is a couple with 4 kids. Hawa kina mama wanakaa na watoto more time nyumbani than the men. They hear all the noises from the kids. They reach a point, they don't hear those noises. Now when I come back from work or from my shop, namwambia Shamila, why the kids are shouting? Shamila is already resistant with the noise. It's you who are coming, or you are come home late. You are the one who is sensitive. So there is insulin sensitivity and insulin resistance. The ladies, most of the time, the noise is at home. They are already resistant with it. They don't even hear if the kids are shouting about remote control. I want to watch CBBS. I want to watch, I don't know what cartoon. Nowadays, they don't watch CBBS anymore. My kids have grown up a little bit. So this is a similar pattern which happens in our body with resistance. Now, let's see the healthcare in the US. In 2022, US used $4.1 trillion for, they call it healthcare cost. I don't call it healthcare cost. Actually, it's treating of the sick people. But with all that money, what has happened? The US has still got is leading in stroke cases, it's leading in heart diseases, it's leading in everyone now, the joints are aching because insulin is an inflammatory. Kila mtu anaumwa, magoti anauma. Yes, because you have got an insulin resistance. High blood pressure has gone up, cancer has gone up. Now, I'm worried if the US is using all this money and the diseases are going up, what about we poor countries like us? Can we afford this? So that's why recently, me and my colleagues, we are taking a lot of measures on prevention, educating everyone. Because if you get diabetes, it's our #1 cause of amputations in Muimbili and other places, leading cause of blindness. Now, if you go to Jakaya Kikwete there, what are they going to do? Nani, can you press enter? Nani, play. If you go to Jakaya Kikwete, this is what they're going to do. This is your cholesterol. It has blocked the vessel. So they're going to put a wire from the groin just to go and push. This is what they call stent. This is how we do the stenting. You know how many cases they are doing at Jakaya? Every day, between 15 and 16 cases. Because this blockage, if it happens in the brain, you're going to get a stroke. If it happens in your heart, you're going to get a heart attack. So we have to increase the pathway so that blood can pass. And this one, tunakuachia paka bwana atakaporudi. We don't remove it. Once we insert it, it will be there with you for the rest. It's about it depends on the lesion. We have between 1.75 centimeters long until 3.2. So it looks small. Do you know the price of it? It's about 6 million. And plus the procedure, 2 million, that's 8 million, and accommodation, you'll give us 10 million. But this one you can avoid. Next slide, please. The other procedure which they will do there, the other procedure they can do there, I don't know, it missed. Anyway, the other procedure is called ballooning. We don't put a stent, but we just go and push the cholesterol aside. And all this, you know, it's interesting how the media can portray. And I'm not looking down what I'm going to say. COVID killed 7 million people in 3 years. Heart disease killed 18 million per year. I wish the advocacy which we made in COVID was made in other NCDs which we have, because unfortunately obesity now is our new epidemic. It's like a big elephant in the sitting room and nobody wants to talk about it. Sawa tumechangia harusi and send off, but should we go and revenge? I'm not sure about that. Please, let's do mindful shopping. These are sugars, and this is what in the cart there is. Very unfortunately, it portrays when my cart is full, I say, oh, Shamila is doing very good economically. Now, I had a patient, very interesting. He told me, mbona Bwana Yesu alikuwa anakula mkate? I said, please don't touch Yesu, because I've got the same birthday with him. I'll show you the difference. This, it's very unfortunate it doesn't show. This was in 1900. No, this was 2010. Now let's see the wheat. What has happened to the wheat? This is a natural wheat. Do you see how tall it is? And they used to harvest once. Now we came very smart people. We said we are going to do genetic modification. Now we have got a wheat plant which is short and we can harvest 3 times because it has got more production, and some of you are business people here, you get more money out of it. But at what price? So the wheat today which makes bread is completely different from the time uko nyuma kidogo. Now, let me tell, I have spoken in brief. So what can you do? I'm not going to prescribe any pill. So what can you do? And please just give it a trial. Give it a trial for a month. If it fails, just stop it. Go back to your lifestyle of eating 100 times a day. Okay? So if you wake up tomorrow, let's give it a shot tomorrow, and I promise you are not going to die. Say tomorrow, when you wake up in the morning, just have a plain cup of coffee, no sugar, no honey. Say today I'm going to have my breakfast at midday. So you'll have your breakfast at noon, right? And then have your dinner at 8 p.m. Unajua utakuwa umefanya nini? You would be fasting for 16 hours and feeding 8 hours. Do it for 2-3 days. Don't start it fast. You're going to fail, I can tell you. It's a process. Do it for 2-3 days, the body will adjust itself. And Santina, you're not going to die. Yesterday you went to bed at 8, and today you came to eat breakfast at 7. Those are 11 hours. Si umeamka salama. So tomorrow push it a little bit. Don't worry. So the following day, after 2-3 days, try the same, push your breakfast to 12 and have your dinner around 6. Unajua utakuwa umefanya nini? Utakuwa umefast for 18 hours and feeding time 6 hours. A week or so, try to have breakfast at 2 na dinner at 6. Unajua utakuwa umefanya nini? Utakuwa umefast 20 hours. Na Rotarians, hata Kiingereza chenu sio kizuri. Breakfast does not mean in the morning. Breakfast is when you touch the food first time. Do you understand? Ramadani, breakfast, we break our fasts, Muslims, at 6:30 in the evening. So that's my breakfast. So don't get excited, oh, what is Janabi saying? No, I'm talking about breakfast. So, and one day just say, Madam President, I'm going to eat one meal. You choose any time. Now, let me give you one hint. Si mnasoma kwenye Google, the good thing about Rotarians, you read at Yahoo and then you consult Google. Second opinion. Breakfast is the best meal. Do you know where that came from? Cystical medicine. Breakfast is the main food. It came from keloids. Wanaotengeneza cornflakes. They had to take your brains and tell you breakfast is the best because that's the only time you can take cornflakes. The best food is that one which you eat. Now, whether it's lunch or dinner or breakfast, provided it is nutritious, that's your health food. There's nothing to do with the morning. Actually, in the morning, nyie ulizeni hawa kina mama. They are having a lot of trouble in the morning with the kids. You have to take something before you go to school. You know why? The hormone for hunger, ghrelin, is at its lowest level in blood in the morning. That's why the kids don't want to eat anything. Na mama, no. Kina baba hamjui sana hili, lakini kina mama, they are fighting with the kids in the morning. Why? Because the kids in the morning, they are not hungry. Because the hormone iko chini sana. I used to see the dada and my wife fighting with the kids, and I used to smile. I say, let them fight a little bit. Okay, so this is just one. So what happens when you do that fasting? Let's say, I'll give you the first example. This is a person who eats 3-4 times. And when I talk about it, imepita korosho, you want korosho, imepita bajia, you want bajia a little bit. Because we don't count those ones. Those are eating. The body doesn't know this is breakfast, this is lunch. It knows something has come to the body. So what happens, you get insulin coming up. Insulin is going to store everything. Now, let's say someone who ate dinner and then breakfast at 12, it means all this time the body has to find food somewhere. So it's burning that fat. And then when you eat again, and then you take a long time to eat. So the longer you fast, the longer the burning takes place. This is not the best example, but I'm going to. This is a real data. What happened during World War I? 1905 to 1915, the weight was going up in blue and the diabetes was going up. When the war started, there was food scarcity. Weight went down and diabetes went down. Then there was peace, we came Second World War. The weight went up, weight went down and diabetes went down. Now, I'm not saying I wish for a Third World War. I didn't say that. But you can see when there is scarcity of food, what happens to our body, what happens to our health. About sugar now. Let me simplify this for you. This is a type of food. This is a serving per meal, and this is your quantity. So for those of pure apple juice, 200 mils. Do you know how many sugar spoons are those? Are 8.6 sugar spoons. Sasa wewe kama asubuhi umekunywa glasi moja ya apple juice, mchana umekunywa glasi ya pili, na jioni umekunywa glasi 3 tu kwa siku, umetumia 24 spoons of sugar. The other day I was giving a similar talk and someone told me, what about fresh juice? I told, okay, madam, tell me, how many oranges do you use to make 1 glass of juice? She told me 5. I said, okay, let me help you. Simple arithmetic. So in the morning, 1 glass of juice, orange juice, 5 oranges. At lunch, another glass, that's 10 oranges. In the evening, 1 glass, that's 15 oranges. 10 days, that's 150 oranges. A month, those are 450. You have eaten the whole farm. Umekula shamba lote. Those are 450. So who eats 450 oranges in a month times 12, and then you should be healthy? It's impossible. Eat the orange. Eat the papaya, not the juice. Kwa sababu juice, I'll give you a logic of hospital. It's like giving somebody an injection and another person a tablet. The one which is going to act fast is the injection. Sasa ukitengeneza juice is a ready sugar. It touches your body, it's absorbed. So the body panics every time you take a juice because it has to secrete insulin immediately to clear that sugar out of blood. So you want to take juice? Hey, jamani, kuna mtu mwenye kiwanda cha juice hapa. I'm withdrawing what I say. So just see what type of food, and what type of food literally has got 0 sugar. Oh, we have talked about this. You'll see how your peaks, as I showed, per meal. Jamani, just a very quick, what services do we give in Mwimbili, our new services? I finished my talk. So we do a lot of cosmetic surgeries nowadays. I'm sure you've heard about us. This is our case. These are really case of ours. A burn case before and after. So burn cases again with a lot of contractures. We do those. We do a lot of restructive cases of the mouth. We do a lot of surgeries for those people with congenital malformations. A lot of scalp cases and keloids. You know, some of you go and pierce your ear for an earring and then the body reacts. So we size those a lot. This is a skin condition which we have done. Now a lot of wounds we see at the hospital at the moment from diabetes. These are some of our breast reduction surgeries which we do at Mloganzila at the moment. Gynecomastia, some males have got one breast large or both of them are large. We do reduction. We do a lot of cosmetic breast reduction, breast augmentations. These are real cases which we've done recently. Wale wazee wenye vipara. Just come, we do a lot of implantation at the moment. It's our department there. I think I'm planning to do one, but I just shaved, so I'm not sure about that. So, Jamani, this is a little bit what we do at Muhimbili. Thank you very much.